In today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the best men's fragrances that you can get for under $50. I think $50 is a great price point to shoot for. It's kind of in that middle range where you're not spending so much that it feels kind of uncomfortable, but you're also not spending a small amount where it feels like you might be getting something overly cheap. You know, you feel like you have a nice balance of quality and affordability around the $50 range. One thing I do want to say is a lot of these actually fall pretty far under $50. We do have a couple that are right there on the line, but most of these are actually somewhere around 30, 35, 40, making them really, really affordable. And just because they are affordable doesn't mean that they're lesser, right? You know, we see all of these much more expensive fragrances, and maybe you're conditioned to think that these aren't as good because the monetary amount is less. That's just not true. Let's get things kicked off with the Calvin Klein. I believe you're usually looking at around $28 to $30 for this one, and this is 100 ml across the board here. The standard 100 ml, 125, 120, whatever the standard size they come in is. It is a Calvin Klein Defy. So it's got vetiver, bergamot, lavender. You get a nice amber accord in here as well. It's woody, it's fresh, it's soapy, it's clean. It smells really, really nice. It's not a mind blower by any means. This is not something that is so unique you're just going to be blown away. In fact, quite the opposite. It's more of a type of thing where you smell it and you go, you know what? Maybe that is familiar. Maybe I have smelled something like this before. But again, I don't really see that as necessarily a bad thing. And also, in the price range that we're trying to stay within here, you're going to have that a lot of the time. Ultimately, this is going to be for the guy who just wants something reliable, something that you can spray on every day, and that's just going to get the job done without breaking the bank, and that is what this one does. They do have a couple flankers, an Oda Parfam, and I don't know if they have any more than that yet, but I'm sure they're going to be in the pipeline. I just kind of prefer this one, the original. I think it does more than what I'm looking for in a scent of this style, and I've liked it ever since it first came out. Now, when it first came out, typically you're going to be overpaying for it because it was new, and I'm sure I paid full retail for it, which is not recommendable. But at the price point that it's at on discounters, you really can't beat it. You know, again, if you manage your expectations and you know that you're not getting something that is so unique, something completely different, then I think you'll kind of appreciate this one when it does come in, just for the fact that it's at a low price and it's decent. And it's also a lot better than quite a few of the other Calvin Klein scents out there, both in quality and just in blend overall. It's definitely a step in the right direction for the brand. Okay, this next one, about $30 to $35, I believe, and this is going to be the 125 ml. They've got a 75 ml, but it doesn't really make sense to get that bottle size. The price point or the price difference is very small. Just makes sense to get the standard size. This one is John Varvatos Artisan Blue. I've said it before, I'm just going to say it again. They don't make them like this anymore. I'm mostly talking about John Varvatos. They just don't do it like this anymore. They have gone down some of the different trends, and not that that's a bad thing because a lot of the big brands do that, but they really had something going with these older releases, and I'm talking Artisan Blue, Artisan Aqua, John Varvatos Black, or Artisan Black, I believe, and then also Dark Rebel Rider, all incredible fragrances. John Varvatos Vintage. Now, Vintage, and obviously this one, you can still get. A lot of those other ones have been discontinued for some time. And then even Artisan Pure. That was probably one of their last really, really good releases before they started to take a shift. And Artisan Pure, of course, you can still get, very popular as well, and would be a great fit for this video too. But Artisan Blue is a little bit more under the radar, and also I don't see this one being around forever, just like all the rest of them. So I would pick up a bottle of this at some point sooner than later. What do I like about it? Well, the fact that it's not blue, okay? It's weird. You know, you see blue, you see the bottle. I've said it all the way back years and years ago. They should have named this Artisan Green, you know, and it would have looked really cool with the green bottle. I think I'd photoshopped it one time, just changing the colors, and it looked great. This is way more green than blue. What do we think of when we think of blue? well, usually these days it's ambroxan, blue fragrances, right? But this is not that. Instead, it uses a lot of basil and aromatic notes and green accords to give it kind of the springtime green smell. Is there maybe a little bit of like a watery, bluish type of vibe to it? Yeah, I guess, but ultimately it's much more green than blue, at least in my opinion. This stuff smells amazing. It doesn't get old. It is so refreshing, so clean, so bright, uplifting. It puts you in a great mood. I already mentioned the price, somewhere around in that $30, maybe $35 range, well below our target, $50. And it's well worth every penny and then some. Even if it was going for around 40, 45, still give it a thumbs up, still say go for it. You know, if you're starting to have to pay 80, 90 bucks for it, that's starting to get out of control. But where it's priced at right now, it is more than worth it. This next one is Armaf Hunter Intense. So obviously going over to a clone brand here, and again, we're way under the target here, 20 bucks or so. You know, I guess I could have tried to get some of these that were closer to 40, 45, right at 50 on the dot. And you know, maybe a couple get close, but I guess I could have done it that way. Oh well, we're well below our target here. But this one here, it's a wonderful blue fragrance mashup. So this is nothing new. It's been talked about before many times. It's been out for a long time. It's one of the more popular Armafs that isn't a Club de Nuit Intense Man or Club de Nuit variant. You know, it's something different than that line and that bottle style, but it still got pretty popular. And I already mentioned why. It's a blue fragrance mashup. So it doesn't smell like one blue fragrance in particular. Instead, kind of smells like a mixture of a whole bunch. Dylan Blue, Sauvage, Aqua Atlantique, kind of some Invictus Aqua styling going on. Just a whole bunch of stuff, you know, combined into one for 20 bucks. If I had to say which one or which ones it would be closest to, I mean, it's going to be more so Sauvage, Dylan Blue style with some of those key features that I mentioned from some of those other ones kind of tossed in as well. This is an Eau de Parfum concentration. They did upgrade that a few years back, and a great performer as well. This is going to be for the guy, again, who wants something that works. We're talking reliability here. You spray this one on, and no matter the situation, no matter who you're going to be around, what time of year, whatever, it's going to be something that ensures that you smell good and that you're going to kind of fit in. It's not something that's old school smelling. It's not something that is just way out there. This works really well with what everybody is used to smelling right now. And that's why it works, because this is a familiar smelling DNA that people might realize, hey, you know, that smells good because I've smelled something like it before. And then maybe they're more apt to compliment you on it. All right, let's go for another clone. Why not? We have Rasi Howis. So when we're talking just dollar for dollar, great deals and just fragrances that offer a lot, these clone brands a lot of times do fit into that category. We just talked about one. Let's go for another. Rasi Howis is no exception. This one is right now for about $22, okay? The going rate was always anywhere from like 35 to 40. Sometimes it would creep up to 45, 49, right there at about 50 during like peak summer season. And this was a few years back when it just, that seemed to be less available out there in the gray market world. But as I mentioned now, $22. I think that's about the lowest I've seen it, at least from a reputable source. Like that's Joma Shop. That's not some random eBay seller or something. This is Joma Shop having it at the lowest price right now, which is $22. I don't know if they're keeping it there, but it's been there for a while now. And it's at that point, it is so hard to say no to. This one has the plum, it has the watery notes, it has all of that ambrox and a whole bunch of citrus and fruits other than the plum off the top. It smells amazing. Invictus Aqua styling here heavily. And in fact, this came out before Invictus Aqua 2016 because this came out in 2015. Kind of weird, odd scenario, but nonetheless, it works. It smells great. Rocus Mustache Oda Parfam is another beauty of a scent. And this one, it has those similarities to YSL Tuxedo. You guys know all about it. This is actually a little bit different. You know, it's always been known as a clone, and I call it a clone. But what I will say is that if you're looking for 100%, 95% accuracy to YSL Tuxedo, this won't be it. I would point you in the direction of something like Alhambra the Tux, Fragrance World Suits, Afnan Tarathi Brown. There's a bunch of them, more than that even. But if you want something that is tuxedo inspired, but with a twist, Mustache Oda Parfam is the one. 125 ml bottle here. Can't remember, I looked before the video, it's way under 50, 30, 35, something like that. It has the vanilla, it has the benzoin, it has the pink pepper. What this one does not have is the patchouli, okay? And the patchouli is the key factor in YSL Tuxedo. It's not here. The way I look at it is it's more of a vanilla-based tuxedo style with a nice pink pepper spice. So tuxedo also has the spices. This one does too, in the form of a pink pepper, but then goes pretty heavy on the vanilla and the benzoin sweetness, and just, doesn't use the patchouli that is used pretty heavily in tuxedo to kind of make it what it is. So tuxedo inspired with a twist for $30 to $35. You just can't beat this stuff. Amazing quality, amazing performance. Great for fall especially, but if a summer evening pops up and you want to wear it, feel free. We've got Aqua Synial Blue by Ferragamo, another blue fragrance, but it's different. Again, it's kind of similar to Hunter Intense, where it's a little bit of a mashup, but still does its own thing as well. And what I like so much about this one in particular is, look at the perfumer. It's Alberto Marias. He created this stuff, and this fragrance goes for like $30 to $35 as well. Very rarely do you get something created by a master perfumer like that for this price point. It just doesn't happen all that often, maybe here and there, but in this case, it's a no-brainer type of deal. It's blue fragrance with more of a maturity to it. It's more in the realm of Bleu de Chanel. Now, it's not a Bleu de Chanel clone. It doesn't smell a lot like Bleu de Chanel, but what I mean though is the type of blue fragrance, and more so the delivery aspect of it. It's more mature, it's more refined, has more of an elegance and a classiness to it, whereas on the opposite end, a Sauvage is more of that younger, kind of more playful, more casual type of smell. This is less like that and more like the Bleu de Chanel styling, just that type of maturity. That's what I like so much about this, because especially at this price point, you don't get a ton of that. Like we talked about earlier, Armaf Hunter Intense, less mature, less classy. This one's going to be more of that mature take on this DNA. And we're going to finish this video off with Coach Open Road. Really cool bottle, kind of taking a page out of Dior Home's book with that tube going down the middle to cover your atomizer. Not saying that Dior invented that, although they definitely heavily popularized it, but it looks really cool, and it's a detail that's subtle, but imagine this bottle without it. It would just be more boring. I mean, it really looks pretty cool. We've got Sichuan pepper, vetiver, red apple, and some lemon. Smells really nice. This one's going to be comparable to what we started the video off with, Calvin Klein Defy. That's why I separated them, because both vetiver heavy, both clean, both soapy, both fresh. Just like Defy, this is also one that is not, crazy unique. Really, none of these are, but I'm just driving that home because I don't want people to get their hopes up and get let down. This is it's a great smell. It's wonderful. It's 28 bucks, I think is what I saw, and this is 100 ml. But it's a familiar type of smell. I just want to make that clear. However, I'm not downplaying the scent. It is still a great everyday wear, affordable scent that pretty much any guy could get along with. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some of the best fragrances under $50. I guess I should retitle this and say under $40, because I don't think any of these climbed over 40. Maybe I'll change the title, but I already said 50 in the beginning. It might be confusing, so we'll see. But no matter what, these are all under 50. A lot of them under 40. Most of these are around $30 to $35 here. Great prices. I will link them all down below, and I've got a mailing list you could sign up to as well. If you want to be the first to know about exclusive sales, rare, discontinued, and hard to find fragrances coming in stock, or just really good deals, sign up down below. It's 100% free. Give you a couple examples. We had the rare the One Gentleman come into stock, 100 ml for like $95, which is just, that stuff, you can't get that anywhere anymore. Hugo Boss Bottled Absolute had a huge price drop down to $88. That's the lowest it's ever been on a reputable source. And so I notified about that as well. So many other details we could go into, but I'll see you on the mailing list. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.